Chemicals are all around and inside of us. Some are good, some are bad, some are only problematic at high levels of exposure. That's the concept of toxic load, when you're exposed to a chemical over and over and over again, and only at a certain amount of exposure does it have negative health effects. You may want to consider avoiding reproductive and endocrine disrupting chemicals while you're preparing the body for pregnancy. There's way more detailed information about this on the website, but for now, let's go over some top hits.
Limit high mercury seafood intake. Eating seafood is a wonderful way to get lean protein and omega-3 anti-inflammatory fats, but some types of fish contain higher amounts of mercury that may be at toxic levels to not just a developing fetus, but a healthy adult as well. As you prepare for conception, whether you're carrying or donating an egg, avoid high mercury fish such as tuna, tilefish, shark, swordfish, and king mackerel. Replace with wild salmon, cod, halibut, haddock, sardines. The FDA recommends around 2 to 3 servings of fish a week.
Wash all produce. To reduce your risk of pesticide exposure, wash all your produce. Even organic produce has pesticides on it, so make a good habit of washing fruits and vegetables. Did you know that when you're pregnant, you're not only going to have to wash all your produce, you're going to have to eat it after only a few days in the fridge to reduce the risk of foodborne illness? Make a good habit of washing produce now.
Avoid BPA in plastics. BPA, or bisphenol A, is a chemical found in some plastics that can behave similarly to estrogen in the body, interrupting your body's normal hormonal regulation.
Reduce your exposure to BPA by storing your food in glass or stainless steel containers. Don't heat your food in plastic, and avoid plastics with the recycle number 7 on them. Now, you don't have to go out and get some fancy glass storage system, though that's totally an option. Try just using old recycled glass jars that you clean. For example, use a salsa jar to store some snacks or some leftovers.
Another way BPA sneaks into our food supply is in the lining of canned food. Choose canned food that is labeled as BPA-free, or look up whether or not your favorite brand is BPA-free already. This is especially important for highly acidic foods, such as canned tomatoes, as BPA can easily leach into these types of foods. There's a link with more info about BPA-free canned products on the website. BPA is also found in most ATM and cash register receipts, so if you work with receipts, try wearing gloves to limit your exposure. Avoid excessive exposure to chlorine bleach and harsh cleaner products, such as heavy-duty degreasers. Try to avoid the use of insecticides in and around the home in the time before conception and especially during your pregnancy.
Lastly, prescription and over-the-counter drugs. How much do you rely on prescription and over-the-counter medication? Pharmaceuticals are usually really good at doing their intended job, but almost all of them have at least one or more side effects, even on a tiny little chemical level. For example, antacids, when taken for long periods of time, actually impair vitamin B12 absorption. Now, vitamin B12 is involved in folate metabolism, and folate, as we know, is involved in fetal neurological development. Aspirin might actually help that headache, but if you take it regularly for long periods of time, it also has some nutritional biochemical implications. Now, this is not to say you can't take any medicine, but it's important to talk about it with your doctor, and this is why it's great to have your nutrient levels checked before you start trying to conceive.
Antibiotics can alter the microbiome, effectively changing the diversity of supportive bacteria in the gut that help us digest our food, and supportive bacteria in the vagina that prevent us from getting vaginal yeast infections. Since you'll be passing along your microbiome to your baby during your delivery and while breastfeeding, consider if you need to replete your microbiome if you've taken antibiotics, even within the last year. Talk to a health professional about all of your regular medication use and if there's anything you can do to promote a more optimal environment for a healthy pregnancy.
Take great care of your body by reducing your exposure to toxic chemicals as best as you are able. Nobody's perfect. Simply try swapping out your harsh cleaners and your old plastic Tupperware for some more fertility-friendly options.